Bonsoir, bonsoir, moun qui fin branché. Partagez live là. Share the live, as today the live is going to be in English because I am talking to your teenager. Please bring your teen abroad. The live. School is about to open. I want them to hear me more than the parents. So please share the live with everyone as I'm sharing also. Like I said, today the live is going to be in English. If you live in the USA or anywhere where you speak English, stay tuned. Don't leave. If you have kids and you live in the USA, don't leave. Bring your kids abroad right next to you so they can watch the live. The kids that are in high school and middle school, this is for them today. Bring your kids right next to you. Let's have a talk where they can ask questions. Share the live, please. Again, my name is Molene, and the show today is about back to school, as we have one more week left before school starts for Broward area. I'm pretty sure it's almost the same thing for Miami. And in some other places, like in Orlando, they already start last week, and Upper North, Jacksonville also started. So share the live. So we can talk with your children. Excusez-moi parce que voix me toujours un petit genre changé. I'm a little bit under the weather today. So please share the live and let's have a talk with your children regarding the opening of school. Hi, Evans. Please share the live. Who is your wife? Share the live, people. Share the live. I'm going to start in 2 more minutes. I can see that it's already 6 o'clock, 6:05 sharp. I will be starting. We are going to talk a little bit about school, the opening of school for us in Broward County, in Miami, even people in Boston, New York, even though school will start for them, I think, after Labor Day. But please share the live. Bring your children right next to you. It's a clean live, and we are just talking about them, the children, the students, getting ready to go back to school, the ones in middle school and the ones that are going in high school. This is Coin de Réflexion show, your show every Sunday at 6 p.m. on my page. And you can also find the lives on my YouTube page. All right, it's about 6:05 now. I'm going to start. Let me get ready. Now I'm going to start. All right, let me share it on my story, and then we're good to go. Remember, the title is Back to School. Tune in with your children. Tune in with your children. Remember that. Tune in with your children. I'm looking at the time. I have one more minute. So give me a second so I can share the live. I know it takes time. Komanuye. How are you guys? How are you doing? The parents, are you ready for schools in Florida? They start last week, this week, and we have some next week and in the next 2 weeks. Share the live. Let's have a talk about the return, the beginning of school for your children. While we're doing that, I'm asking you to please. Bonsoir, Ben. Bonsoir. Please share the live. Remember that my first sponsor, I've been having him since I started, is Blaise Law Office. My brother, McKinley Augustin, he's a lawyer. He specializes in car accident. So if you get into a car accident, after you call 911, you need to call 954-388-5300, 1-800-848-8800. You can also call him to consult on immigration cases, slip and fall, and there's one more thing, and divorce cases. Reach out to him. His office is located in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's 130 North Flagler Avenue. My other sponsor who just got aboard with me is Trans Florida Realty. If you want a home, you might have a house, but if you want a home where you can raise your children, they can have a backyard to run over and create memories, you need to reach out to Trans Florida Realty at 954-546-0003. 954-546-0003. Albert, bonsoir, bienvenue dans l'émission. Bodi, Gabriel, bienvenue dans l'émission Coin de réflexion. Continuez à partager live là. Today, the live is going to be in English. I wanted to do it in English so you can bring your children that are in middle school or high school to be sitting right next to you so they can hear what I have to say, whether they are just going to start 6th grade or 9th grade, or if it's their last year in high school or their last year or whatever it is. As long as they are in middle school and high school, we are going to share some ideas with them. For the middle schoolers, you guys, you need to remember, this is going to be a transition. Transitioning from elementary to middle school is a big difference. You're going to get the opportunity to meet new people and to explore. The reason why I said you're going to explore who you are, because when you are going to middle school, most of you already went through your puberty stage, meaning you already have your period. If it's a boy, they already have hair coming on they already have pubic hair. Their voice already changed. So there's a lot going on when you go through your puberty. So in middle school, it's the toughest period because you become a teenager. And that's when you're trying to identify yourself. You're trying to figure out who you are, and you're also trying to figure out, where do I fit in? Who looks like me? Who thinks like me? Who acts like me? And a lot of the times, that's where you get into trouble when you start middle school. And middle school can also be a difficult time, as there are a lot of things that are changing in your life. You are going to see more, you're going to have more choices. You're going to have more decisions to make when you're in middle school. Now you're going to have more responsibility. What you need to remember is, instead of being in one classroom with one teacher all day, you have multiple teachers. It's like you're switching from one subject to another. You're switching from math to English. The teacher is not coming in. You're leaving and go to that English teacher. Natasha, bonsoir. Wasmani, bonsoir. That's what it is in middle school. That's the transition, which makes it a little bit hard. But I want you guys to remember, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to talk to your teachers, as you going to have not 1, not 2, not 3, but maybe 5 or 6 teachers. Don't be afraid to talk to the school counselors or any staff for that matter if you need help, because that's why you have them. That's why they are there on campus, for you to ask questions if need be. So the first thing I'm going to talk about for middle schoolers, you need to stay healthy. You need to stay healthy by eating healthy. Word bonsoir. Wasmani, bonsoir. And this is not a time for you to transition back to school nights, school night hours. I don't know what time your parents set up for you. If it's 9 o'clock, 9:30, 8:30, you need to start transitioning back right now. You cannot wait for when school starts. Your body is going to be tired. You need to start doing it now and try to get a good night's sleep so you can wake up feeling energized. And remember to eat breakfast. That's important. When you go into school, you need to eat breakfast. The second thing is for you to get organized. When I say organized, I mean you need to keep a schedule, a calendar. You need to know what's going on. You need to know what classes am I leaving from this class to that class. What homework do I have in math, or what homework do I have for science? What project is due? You need to keep a calendar. You need to do your homework. It will be best if you allow yourself a certain amount of time for you to do your homework every night or to study. For example, you can say, I'm just giving an example, from 6 to 7, that's your hour to do your homework, or from 5 to 6. However way you want to do it. It's very important if you allow that time and that space for homework only. Remember to turn your homework in on time. Sometimes the kids say, I forgot to turn in my homework. I left it at home. It was in my folder. You got to be responsible because you're in middle school now. You have to remember to turn in your homework every day. You need to also take advantage of extra credit. You can ask your teachers, do we have extra credit? A lot of teachers, sometimes they do give you extra credit to do, so you can bring your grade up. Remember to schedule your time. Don't wait until the last minute to start an assignment. I'm pretty sure the teachers give you an assignment and they give you the due date, so you already know. Don't wait till the last minute so you could cram the whole night or the whole afternoon. You're having your parents running around to kind of find the things that you need for your project. You need to remember when your assignment is due so you can start at least a week early. The other thing we want to talk about is talk to your teachers. Ask questions. If you are unsure, the teacher assign an assignment and you're not sure how to do it, you don't understand what it's about, you don't understand what the content is supposed to look like, you don't understand what you need to do for the assignment, the best thing to do is to ask your teachers. You cannot ask me because I won't know. The teacher is the one who provides the assignment. The teacher is the one you need to ask the question. You can also ask another student, but to be sure, to be clear and precise, to know exactly what to do, you need to talk to your teachers. The middle schoolers, it's very interesting for you to get involved in extracurricular activities. Meaning, find the things that you enjoy. For example, sports. They have all sorts of sports at your school. They have clubs. They have all types of activity. So just get yourself involved. This is a good way for you to meet new people. This is a good way for you to socialize. This is a good way for you to network. Because you start networking, you get ideas when you talk to people around your own age. So get involved in extracurricular activity. And I know that a lot of my people, a lot of our Haitian parents don't understand the importance of extracurricular activity. They think they just send you to school to study, do homework, and you graduate. But they forget about the social part. They forget about the networking part. So if you can, you need to tell your parent that it's important. Dad, I want to play sports. Mom, I want to be in the band. I want to be in the choir. I want to be in the spelling contest, whatever they call it. There are a lot of things for you to do. So guys, just get on board. The last thing for middle schoolers, because middle school is such a tough time, you need to talk to your parents. And this is something you have to do often. So you can let your parent, you can let them know what is going on, what is happening with you. You can inform them of whatever that's going on in your school. You need to stay connected to your parents in middle school. And also in middle school, parents need to stay behind their children because it's a tough time. And there's a lot of bullying in middle school. And guys, I want you to remember that bullying is against the law. So if you see someone getting beat up or people are just bothering that person, I wouldn't want you to get right into the fight, but I would want you to reach out to the next adult that is around you, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, or a staff, anybody, any adult that is in that building where you are, you need to reach out to as soon as you can. And I think in most of the school, they do have a box where you can, it's anonymous. You can put the message, you can put the name of the person, what class they in, what they did. You can write the whole thing and fold it and put it in the box. I think they check it, they read it, and they follow through. Because I don't want to lose any of you guys. I know it's a tough year and sometimes you don't know how to handle it because you're overpowered by all the other children. So remember, stay in touch with your parents, tell them what's going on so they can help you. It's important that you find an adult that you trust, whether it's a family member, whether it's a school staff, whether it's a church personnel, someone you know at the church, an adult you feel like you are comfortable talking to when you have problems. Because we know in middle school you do have problems. I mean, a lot of you don't share with your parents. If you don't feel like you can trust your parents, you don't feel like you are comfortable with your parents, you need to find a trusted staff member at school to talk to when you have problems. And in middle school, I would also advise you to choose your friend wisely. Remember what I said, you're trying to find yourself and know who you are. And you are trying to figure out, where do I fit in? Where do I belong? This is a time where you're choosing your friends and you need to be wise about it. You cannot choose the friends that usually skip classes. You cannot choose the friends that smoke and drinks. You cannot choose the friends that are bullies and want to fight all the time. So this is a time for you to choose your friend wisely, someone who has the same interests as you, someone that kind of like around your personality type. And remember, come to school and have fun. Mwewe Albert dit, so true. I always told that to my kids. Yes, that's very important. Yes, they need to participate in school activities. A lot of the time, our people don't understand that. When your kids play sports, they are part of the band, in a choir, any club, they get a chance. They might get a scholarship if they qualify for it, because there are lots of scholarships out there, but we have to know what they are and what the requirements are. Now let me talk, that was for the middle schoolers. I'm sorry, remember, if you are just coming into the live, to share the live, and today it's about back to school. Bring your teenage daughter, teenage son right next to you so they can listen to this live, whether they are in middle school or in high school. We just want to talk about how they could go into the school with an open mind, with certain things in their mind, so they know how to navigate around campus. They know how to interact with other people. Even though the live may not be as long, but you guys can ask questions. You can ask questions, you can write comments, and I'll do my best to read them. I'm going to talk to the high schoolers right now. High school students have a lot to think about, from math tests to sports to social situations. Now you are big boys and girls in high school. You are no longer a little kid. Nobody's gonna hold your hand to show you where your classes are. So if you are a freshman, you need to know what to do. And you have to remember that each student has a unique experience into high school. We don't have the same. Mine is different than my sister. My sister is different than her friends. So everybody has a unique experience. Your experience is individualized when it comes to high school. That's why it's so important for you to know what you want. If you are a freshman, I would advise you to take the time to explore the building. I'm pretty sure they have an orientation. You kind of need to note your location, the location of your classroom, your locker, the gym, the cafeteria, the school nurse, and especially your counselor. Because this is a person who you're going to interact with a lot. This is a person that can make changes to your schedule. This is the person that your parents need to get in contact with so they know where you are in terms of credits, GPA, as you moving to the next grade. So attend orientation to meet your teachers and your peers as a ninth grader. A lot of the times we think you kind of like stuck with your friends. You feel like if my friend plays soccer, I want to play soccer. If my friend is in a chess club, I want to be in the chess club. But today I want to tell you to pick classes of interest, not of your friend's interests, of your own interests. Electives, for example, are a way to explore your passions or for you to develop new skills. You pick elective because you want. I remember in high school, you see, I didn't even know, but when I was in high school, I think the second year, I chose peer counseling. And guess what? Right now, I'm a counselor. So it kind of geared towards my passion. That's what I'm saying. Don't pick electives just because your friends pick elective. Don't pick electives. I know that. This one I know for sure. Because you want an easy A. That's not a good reason to pick electives. You got to pick elective that you are interested in. That can gear toward your passion. You have to remember, be yourself. Be yourself when you go to high school. High school can be how would I say that? It could be overwhelmed if you don't know how to navigate it. And sometimes it can be overwhelmed if you don't have friends. So be yourself. Like I said before, pursue the activities that truly interest you. Don't make decisions about extracurricular activities like playing sports, be part of a club, based on what people think or based on what your friends want. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, what interests you, what you like, what your passions are geared toward. That's what you need to do. And also, you can focus on the people and the activities that feel right for you, regardless of what seems to be cool or acceptable at that moment. And you will get the most satisfaction out of high school if you do that. And you will only find out once you start college, once you leave high school. That's when the light will come into your head and you will say, oh my God, why didn't I take Spanish instead of sewing? Why didn't I take Spanish instead of peer counselor? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Because you are basing your interests on other people, not on what you feel is right, not on what you like. So that's why it's so important for you to figure out what you like, not what other people like, and embrace interactions with others. You're going to have a lot of people in high school because you're going from classes to classes and people that are coming from different middle schools. So you're going to get to meet new people and become friends with some of them. Some could be friends for a lifetime. Some could be friends for just the time period you are in high school. I want to tell you to make the most of high school. Make the most out of high school. Take advantage of the opportunity to form strong relationship with your teachers. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about regular relationships with your teachers. Get to know your teachers. Talk to them. They can help you navigate high school. I remember when I was in high school, one of my teacher, my English teacher, took me. In the hallway there was a big exposition. Colleges coming, they had scholarships. I didn't even know about it. I remember my English teacher, I remember her name, I just don't want to say it. She actually took me to a table of a 2x2 scholarships. So she said, you have good grades, your GPA, you have good grades, you have good GPA. And she just brought me to the table and left me there. And she asked the people behind the table to help me. And they give me the paper. I fill it out. And then I give it to them. And guess what? My first 2 years of college was free. I had a scholarships. So that's why it's so important. The teachers can help you. They can help you navigate. They can tell you about colleges. I know some classes do that. They prep you for financial aid, for applications, and how to look for a college of your interest, what to look for. Talk to your teachers. And you have to remember, your teachers can also serve as a reference. You are applying for a job, you can use them as a reference. The one that you are close to, you can ask them, can I use you as a reference on my application for college? Can I use you on a reference for my application for a job? And most likely, if you have a connection with that teacher, they will help you and they will do it for you. I had one that did it for me. Yeah, that same one when I was going to college. And from college to university, I had another one who, oh my God, this teacher, this professor wrote me. When I read that letter, I was like, oh my God, I can present that to any school and they will be, wow, dumbfounded and shocked. Yes, because I was shocked. So if you get close to your teacher, you ask them questions, you let them help you, they can serve as a reference for a job or on your college application. Remember when you were in high school, you do a lot of essays or project. You do a lot of essays or project. But I'm advising you, if you are in high school, you are going to know which project, which essay looks good because you have a good grade on it. Save it. You need to save a couple of your essays and projects. Don't throw all of them away. One of them might come in handy when you're applying for college. I used one I had in high school for college. And I remember I used one in college for university. You have to save. You cannot throw everything away. So I'm just letting you know, if you're in high school, don't throw away all your essays or projects. You never know when they can come in handy and you might add to it and use it for something else. I want to tell you to work hard in language classes. For example, if you choose Spanish or French classes, you never know. Work hard in it. Don't just take it as an elective that has no meaning, like a free A. Don't do that, because you might want to get, let's say you go to college, you might want to get into a study abroad program where you go to Italy, you go to France, you go to Morocco. I had a friend of mine, her daughter went to Morocco for a summer. I know someone else who went to Spain for a whole year to study abroad. And sometimes they pay for it. Sometimes they pay for it. So if you already take the Spanish classes or the French classes, it might come in handy for you to go explore the different parts of the world when you are in college. Don't play with it. Don't think I just want to do it for the easy A. Don't do that. If you are just coming into the live, please share the live. And I want you to support my sponsors, Blaise Law Office with McKinley Augustin. If you get into an accident, the first person to call after you call 911 is the office of Blaise Law Office with Avocat McKinley Augustin at 954-388-5300. And my other sponsor is Trans Florida Realty. If you want to buy a new home, if you want to buy a commercial building for you to do business or to rent out, reach out to Trans Florida Realty at 954-546-0003. 954-546-0003. We are back. We are talking about back to school for your teenagers going through high school and middle schools. Think about college early. Think about college early. Don't go crazy. I'm not saying that as soon as you go into high school as a freshman, you're going to get crazy. Oh my God, I need to find out what college I'm in. No, just chill. Take it little by little. But think about it. You can start looking at colleges during your sophomore year, which is in 10th grade. You can start thinking about colleges during your sophomore years. You can also explore your interests. What branch do I lean towards? Am I a number person or am I a word person? When I say word, there are a lot of majors, a lot of professions that leans towards words, meaning nurture, words, nurture, like nurses, teachers, counselors, doctors. If you're a number person, you would be more into the business, computer, things like that. So you probably need to kind of start thinking about it. But if you don't know, it's fine. It's not a problem. Sometimes parents will stress you out that you have to know, you must know. I remember when I first started college, I remember this boy, within the second year, he still didn't know. He couldn't figure it out. That happens sometimes because we are human. You may not realize what you need, but sometimes I can tell you, if you go online, they have several vocational, I think they call them, tests for you to take. Depending on your answers, it will lead you toward what major that may be best fit you. It would lead you, and then you can navigate your way through that. So when you're thinking about college, you have to look at the college. You have to remember they have a variety of things that could that you are interested in. For example, if you want to go to business, you might want to figure. There are some universities that they have different majors, but they will tell you that this is the best university to go for business. For example, FAU is one of them. I'm not sure for FIU, but I've heard this about FAU. FAU, that's the one in Boca. So you have to think about your major, the academics of that school. You have to think about the location where the school is. You have to think about, is it in the state you live in? Is it out of state? Because you have to remember, there is a price if you reside in that same state. If it's out of state, it's a different price because you came out of a different state to come to school to that state. You have to think about all of that. You have to think about your major. What do I want to major in? You have to think about the activities. What do they have? I know most of the school, they have sororities and fraternities. I'm not a sorority type of person, but some people like it. I see one of my old friend from university. She's part of a sorority, and I see the things that they do. It's very interesting. It's just not my type of things. But if you like it, you be part of it. If you want to play sports for college, you want to be in a club, you want to be part of a band. If you do it in high school, you never know. You might get a scholarship where they give you a full ride. Full ride means they pay your college for the whole 4 years that you are there, especially if you play sports for them. You can also look at the size of the college you want to go to. Some people don't do well if it's a big university where there's a lot of people. Some people don't do well. They don't really like it. There are others that are smaller. They are smaller in sizes. I remember I went to I think it was a biology class when I was at Florida State. It looks like a mini auditorium. So many people. I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. But some people will not do good in it. They will feel like left out. You know what I mean? Like they don't belong there. They will be lost in all of, it's too big of a classroom. So you got to think about the size of the college that you are going to. Is that what you want? You also have the option of thinking about financial aid. Financial aid that's what the government gives you. You do not have to return it back. And they do say it's first come, first serve. So if you wait till the last minute, you may just get a little bit. Sometimes you get financial aid. It covers it covers everything. Depending on what school you go to, you have to remember, if you go to a college, the price is less. I don't know if it's the same thing. If you go to a university, it's like double. And if you go out of state, that's a different ball game. It's a lot more. So you got to think about financial aid. How am I going to pay for school? So financial aid also, you in 12th grade, you're about to graduate. You're filling out paperwork for financial aid. Of course, it's going to be with your parents' income tax. I don't know how it is, but if they make a lot of money, you're not going to get a lot of money. If your parents make a lot of money, your financial aid will not be the same as someone where their parents have a very low income or they have no income at all. So that's one option, financial aid. And there are many scholarships out there that you are not aware of. Sometimes they have scholarship for the specific major that you are going into. Why not applying for it? Why not? So sometimes they require you to write an essay. They require you to write an essay saying why. Why do you want this scholarship? They would ask you for references. They ask you for different things. They ask you for your grades, your GPA, and so many people are applying, so they're going to base it on whatever their criteria is for that scholarship. And Coca-Cola has a scholarship. There are so many. You just need to Google and they will all come up. You look at them. Sometimes they are specific majors, career. You check it out. If it's not for you, you go to the next one. And then you look at the requirements. Once you find the one that fits you, you look at the requirements. What do they want you to do? You fill out the application. Do they want you to write an essay? If yes, what do they want you to put in an essay? Why do you think you deserve this scholarship? You write a 1-page, whatever. Sometimes they will tell you a 1-page, a 2-page, or a 3-page essay. Sometimes they will ask you for references. That's when you go back to the teachers that you got close to when you were in high school, the teachers that you talked to. So you go back to them. Can you please write me a letter of reference for blah, blah, blah? Most of the time, the teachers will say yes, because they just want to help you. Or a counselor at your school, they would want to do that. They can help you. That's another way to pay for college scholarships. And the rest is history. Your parents is going to have to come up with it. They also have loans. I have loans. I have to tell you, I took loans. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing because you're going to have to deal with it right after you graduate. They have subsidized and subsidized. It's a whole story. You get to learn about it if you are interested in loans. They will give you the loan that will pay for your school fees, that will pay for if you're staying on campus. If you're not staying on campus, they will probably, whatever money is left after they pay for your school, they will send it to you. You can pay for your rent. It may not be enough. It may not be enough. Sometimes they do have parents' loan. So the parents, they take the loan under their name. So they are responsible for it. That's not your loan. Not a lot of parents are willing to do that because it's a bill. It's going to be a bill afterwards. So they don't like to do that, but there are student loans available. But if you do good, if you're a good student, you have good grades, I can guarantee you, if you take your time, you look online, you will find 2 to 3 scholarships that you may not even need to get a loan. That's very important. A lot of the time, you guys, you get so lazy, you get so comfortable. You only think about the loan, you only think about the financial aid. But you have to remember, the financial aid may not cover everything. It may not cover school, the fees, your books, and everything else. So you have to think, scholarship is the best way to go. If you have good grades, you have a good GPA, that's the best way to go when you're thinking about college. And there's also standardized tests. We know there are SAT and ACT. That's for ACT and ACT. You need one of them. Some schools require both. Some colleges, universities require both. But I think most of them would only need one, ACT or SAT scores. And you can prepare yourself for that. You can prepare for it. You can go to the library. You can ask the people that work at the library, I need a prep book for SAT. I need a prep book for ACT. And then you can start taking the SAT, I think from 10th or 11th grade. I'm not sure, but it's best if you start taking it the earlier, the better. If you don't get a good score, you can take it over. You don't get a good score, you can take it over until you actually apply for college and then you submit the best score that you have. They allow you to do that. Pierre, where do they go online for scholarships? Are you asking about scholarships? Louisna, Jamie, Julie, bienvenue. Welcome to the show. Bienvenue dans émission Point de Réflexion. Pierre, I want to answer your question. You asked me, where do they go online? Are you talking about the scholarships? You can just Google. If it's about the scholarships, you can just Google scholarships. And then they will come up. They will come up. Scholarships for 2020, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes at your high school, the counselors have a list of scholarships. That's why I said you need to talk to your teachers and your counselors. You have to remember, in high school, they have a counselor for 9th grade, one for 10th grade, one for 11th grade, one for 12th. I think they do the same thing in middle school. I'm not quite sure, but I kind of think so. So you ask the counselor, where can I find scholarships? Sometimes they have a list, and sometimes they will tell you to go online and search. But if you go online, you do scholarships for 2023, depending on the year, they will all pop up. Or you can put scholarships for a specific major. Let's say you want to be a nurse. You can put scholarship for students who wants to become a nurse. They will pop up. And then you have to find the one that's appropriate for you, because sometimes they have specific thing that they ask for. They do have scholarship for Black people. So you can Google find scholarships for Black people. It will come up. They have scholarship for Asian people, for Spanish people. That's how you look it up. And sometimes when they come up, that's when you have to read them and find out if you qualify. Let me say not qualify. Yeah, if you qualify, if you meet the requirements, let's say it's a scholarship for Black people. Am I Black? Yes. It could say for Black who wants to become engineers. Do I want to become an engineer? No. If I want to become an engineer, then you keep going. It will tell you all the requirements, and you take the one that fit you. You fill out the application. You do what they ask you to do. Fill out an application. You need to write an essay, a 2-page or 1-page. And why do you think you deserve the scholarship? So you tell them why you think you deserve the scholarship. They will ask you about your grades, your GPA, some of them. Sometimes, this is another thing that a lot of kids nowadays don't like to do. Remember, they have volunteering hours. Volunteering, when you're in high school, I don't know about other states, but I know about Florida. They ask you for 40 hours of volunteering. 40 hours. That's not a lot. You can start doing them in 11th grade. In 10th grade, you just have to make sure wherever you do it, they sign the paperwork and you turn it in to your counselor. And they keep counting the hours until you get to 40. You can stop at 40 if you want to. But I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you are going to apply for a scholarship. You meet the requirement that you did some volunteering hours, but I did 200 hours of volunteering. You did 40, just the bare minimum. Who do you think is going to get the scholarship? I'm going to get it because I have many more hours than you do. So you cannot just say 40 is required, I'm sticking with 40. Don't do that, guys. Stop being, I don't want to say the word, but it's a way for you to learn more things, to learn new skills. You could volunteer at a hospital. I remember I volunteered at a hospital, pediatrics floor. What did I do? I used to read for the little kids in pediatrics floor. I used to feed them. I used to put them in a wagon and then roll them around the floor to calm them down. That's all I did. You can volunteer at summer camp. You can volunteer at daycare. You can volunteer at animal shelter, animal hospital, at the library. You can volunteer at some churches will allow you to volunteer. And the hours, they can count it. You just have to have them sign the paper and turn it into your school counselor, because the school counselor keep the count for you. And then there's also the name is not coming to my head. There's a Florida gives a scholarship. Florida, what's the name of it? If anybody remember the names of the scholarship that Florida gives you, it just goes with your GPA, your grades, and how many volunteer hours you have. All of Florida. But if you don't ask, you don't know. You have to ask your counselor. You have to fill out the paperwork. And some kids who has more than 200 hours, more than 100 hours of volunteering hours, they do get the scholarships. You can get it too. It's not that difficult. If you're already working hard toward the 4 years you are in high school, you have good grades, you have A's and B's and maybe a couple of C's, and you have a good GPA, 3.5, a 3.0 GPA, you can get a scholarship. So don't just sit around and do nothing. You got to reach out. You have to ask people. The most important thing is for you to stay in touch with your counselor at school. And for the parents, don't just let your child try to figure out everything on their own. You can also email the counselor to find out what's missing for my daughter in terms of credit, in terms of volunteering hours. You can write to them and they will let you know your child may not graduate because she's missing half a credit in math, a credit of English, or half a credit in PE. You need to reach out to your child's counselor. They will tell you exactly what's going on. They need to do 10 more volunteering hours to meet the requirement, which is 40 hours. So that's very interesting. And let's go back to the SAT and ACT. Oh my God. When I was in high school, I did not prepare for those tests because I didn't really know much. I didn't know much. So I thank God. Oh my God. I could just say thank God. I only took it once, and I took it when I was in 12th grade, my last year, because no one told me otherwise. Remember, I came from a different country, totally different. So no one told me otherwise. I know about the volunteering hours. I started doing it. I did more than what was required, but I heard SAT and ACT, but no one really told me that you can start taking it in 11th grade, in 10th grade, and you can buy the book, you can rent the book from the library, so you can prepare for it. So I just took that test once, and thank God I had a good grade, and they can use it. They can use it because I was accepted. So you have to remember that. You have to, sometimes your child is so laid back, they wait for things for the last minute. It will be overwhelmed if you wait until you're in 12th grade to think about college, look for colleges, pick one, think about SAT and ACT. That will be overwhelming. If you do all of that in 11th grade, you will have a better 12th grade. It will be better for you. So remember, you can get prepared for the SAT and the ACT by renting a book from the library, either at your school library or a public library, or you can buy one on Amazon if you want to. You have to remember that high school students, you guys face a lot of big decisions. This is a time where you're thinking about your career. What university you want to go to? What do you want to do after you graduate? Some kids would. I know kids who want to travel for a couple of years before they go to college. Some kids whose parents have money, and some they do it. They travel and they go back. Some kids who want to go to the military for whatever reason. But you do have a lot of decisions, important decisions to make when you are in high school, especially doing 11th and 12th grade year. And you have to remember to take care of yourself. You have to get enough rest. Remember that, like I said, for the middle schoolers, school starts, you need to start adjusting your sleeping pattern like a week in advance so your body can get used to it. You know what I mean? So you don't feel so tired when you wake up to go to school. It's not all about getting new clothes, new shoes, new backpack to go to school. It's a new experience. You are going to meet new people. You are going to find your passion. You are going to networking. That's what it is. So you have to remember to eat well. You have to remember to drink plenty of water. And the one thing I would love to say to a high school student is, try not to smoke. Try not to smoke. I know a lot of you try in middle school. Yeah. A good 80, 85, I don't want to say 90% try in high school. Did the parents know? No. Did the teachers know? No. Some friends know? Possibly. Possibly their friends know. Possibly. But I want to tell you, don't start smoking, because I just want you to think how hard it's going to be when you would want to quit later on. It's going to be very hard. So if you don't start, it will be best for you. That's what I always suggest. Don't start smoking. Drinking, it's occasional. If you go to a party, blah, blah. But I'm not saying because you guys are underage. In high school, you are underage. You can't drink. You can't buy alcohol or cigarettes. But I am putting an emphasis on don't start smoking while you're in high school. Just think about how hard it's going to be when you want to quit later on in life. It's going to be very hard. And then what's left to say is for you to stay cool, for you to stay calm, and for you to stay collected when school starts. You just have to remember, focus on yourself, focus on what you want to do, and going to high school won't be that difficult. It may seem difficult if something is hard. Let's say you have a math class and you struggle with it, but you don't ask anyone for help. That's hard, but you need to talk. You need to ask your teacher for help. You did this morning. I have no idea how to do it. Can I stay after school? Can I come to you during lunch? And right now, high school has something called study hall. That's like a free, I don't know if it's an hour and a half, but it's a good time for you to go to a teacher to help you with whatever that you're struggling with. And if that doesn't help, you need to tell your parents so they can find you a tutor. Some schools do have free tutoring. Some libraries provide free tutoring. You won't know if you don't look for it. You won't know if you don't ask for it. So that's all I'm saying to you guys. And I hope you find this year, this new school year that you're about to start or you just started a week or two ago, it will be a well experience time for you. It will be a happy time for you. If it will be a learning experience for you. If you apply yourself, if you focus on yourself, you have to remember there's a lot of influences out there, people, things. You have to remember who you are and what you want. You can't stay focused on what people want or what everybody's doing. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it's cool. And even if it's cool, it doesn't mean you have to do it. You have to remember that. You have to remember you're your own person. You don't depend on anyone except for your parents. Focus on yourself. Focus on your interests. Focus on what you like and focus on what you want. And I promise you, if you do that, you will have a good experience while in middle school and high school. And a lot of time I tell people, for those of you who are going through high school here in the United States, you will not have that same experience when you go to college or university. It's a different ball game. You know what I mean? High school is, to me, it's kind of like preparing you for your next life. When I say next life, meaning your career, who you want to be, what you want to do. And this is the time where you're going to have the most fun. Because why? Because you don't pay anything. You depend on your parents. So this is the time to enjoy high school, being safe in high school. Do what you got to do. Know what you want. So when it's time to graduate, you're not stressed, you're not overwhelmed. You can take the steps one by one until you get to where you want. Albert, merci. Si gen question ou bien commentaire, nous capable écrire yo. C'était un petit parler moi te vle faire avec Timoun middle school, Timoun high school. Surtout middle school yo, c'est un tough, c'est un moment qui dur, qui difficile. Et que Timoun yo kon goumen en pile, yo kon participer dans pile bagay qui pas bon. That's why it's so important for you as a parent. You talk to your child. You don't just buy them new clothes, new backpack, new lunch boxes to send them to school, and you forget to talk to them. You forget to sit them down and remind them why they are going to school, and remind them what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. You need to remind them to show respect to school staff, not just the teachers, every adult in their school. You need to talk to your child to remind them their only job right now is to do their homework, do their projects, and don't let them tell you that I don't have no homework. Let's say nowadays, I kind of see that a lot of them don't have homework. That's okay. If they don't have homework, make them read. The library, you can get 5 books. You go on one day, you get 5 books. They can read it for 2 months and then return them and get 5 more. When they read, it enriches their vocabulary. You never know, your child might write a book sometimes. So just remember that. They are your kids. You have to remember to sit them down and talk to them. While you're buying all the beautiful clothes, the backpacks and everything else, getting their hair done, putting wigs, nails, their eyelashes and all of that. I'm not against it. To some point I am, but it's not my decision. It's you as a parent to help your child understand what is the most important thing. And especially, you can't just buy them everything they want, everything they need, and you forget to talk to them, which is the most important thing. You forget to talk to them about drugs. You forget to talk to them about sex. You forget to talk to them about skipping classes. You forget to talk to them about bullying. You forget to talk to them about being disrespectful. You forget to talk to them about being responsible and do not fight. You forget all of the most important things. The most important things is not the clothes. It's not the backpack. It's not the lunchbox. It's the talk that you have with your child before school starts. And you have to remind them that I'm here for you. If you struggle with something, you need to let me know so I can find ways to help you. And if there's a problem, you talk to a school personnel or you come talk to me. You don't ever take anything into your own hands. You might get in trouble. So this is all I wanted to talk to your kids about today, and you can share it with your friends, your family members who has kids that are going in middle school or high school, so they get a better understanding of going there with an open mind. I'm asking you again to please reach out to my sponsors. This show would not be possible if it weren't for them. Blaise Law Office at 954-388-5300, 388-5300. If you get into a car accident, after you call 911, call Blaise Law Office. They do speak Spanish, Creole, French, and English. If you need to buy a new home for your family, you need to create memories. If you need to buy a commercial property, you want to do business, you want to rent it to people, reach out to Trans Florida Realty at 954-546-0003. 954-546-0003. Merci pour nous tous qui étaient là. Tant pour continuer à partager live là. Songez nous capable rentrer dans inbox moi dans Messenger. Si nous gagnons un sujet nous t'arrêt même traiter, nous capable écrire tout dans mpapin2020@gmail.com, mpapin2020@gmail.com. Et moi gagne un nouveau numéro, moi pas gagne avec m'kounya. Moi taba nous li. But nous capable quitter message dans email moi ou bien dans Messenger sur Facebook. Nous capable checker page espace réflexion sur Facebook. Nous capable aller dans channel YouTube moi qui sous nom moi Molene Papin. Toute vidéo yo là nous capable garder yo, nous capable voyer ba l'autre monde pour yo garder yo. C'était cette émission ça moi te pote ba nous, moi souhaiter que li a aider ou même qui gagne un petit qui entre dans middle school ou bien un petit monde qui entre dans high school. Capable faire autant d'elle puisque li en anglais, moi crois que yo a comprendre ni, surtout petit monde qui fait sorti dans l'autre pays, especially for the children that came from another country such as Haiti, Colombia, Venezuela, Santo Domingo. Have them listen to it. can probably, or they will probably find something that can help them navigate through their middle school years or their high school years. Again, thank you. May you all have a blessed night and a blessed week, and take care of yourself. Julie says, thank you so much for being under the live. And I see a lot of my cousins were there, Jamie, Pauline. So thank you guys for your support. And I will continue to work to support the community. Thank you and have a blessed night.